Claviola does get power, and Noble pushes out the smoke, gets one, gets two. Can they find the third? Cersei gets that three, and it's 5-1 the trade. Claviola can't get two. Miso is now putting them in a 3v3 situation. Ultra lead. Miso gets two. Now it's a 1v1. Ryuk.
Bombs down. 2v4 there for Ringling College. Noble getting another pick there on the brain. Ryuk gets a pick on the Miso, and Claviola cleans up the last. Ringling has an idea where they're at and gets the kill as Claviola's gonna clutch.
Does realize that though. Claviola gets one, trying to get the second, does get that second, 3 down on the side of Ringling College. Now it's a 1v7 as Ryu gets that first pick. Oh, Aries, good for 2.
Where's the last play? Aries gonna get the kill anyway.
Oh,
Gets the second one off of the DG.
Finds that first pick, and Claviola looking to get really aggressive, trying to switch from their backside. Ryu picks up that second now. Situation.
This player's off guard. Ultra lead. At the angle on block. Notices power. Notices one. Notices the other. Going to get utility here as a couple trades come in on either side. It's a 3v2 here. Ryu picks off another one. Ryu gets off a third kill this round as there's one last kill there for Ryu. Gonna send some util there for some Ringling, but Ryu gonna pick one. Ultra lead goes down. Cersei gets burst. Aries Pro taking down. Power taking. They're playing 5-man pushes right now. Just essentially playing trades. And they're playing pretty slow, but it works out there as their patience paid off. As we're going to see very aggressive plays mid here from both sides. Power gets one, gets another. Blue picks up one. Power gets the third. Ryu goes down. Power is very close. They know that Ryu is here.
Here we go.
Is Ryu trigger just
And Ultra League get their picks. Bomb is planted though. Ultra League has a beautiful flash, and Cersei picks it up here.
Oh, they have a few players, but a huge flash comes in from Ringling. Nobody's looking for Ryu as 4 go down on the B. Few shots put down there from Claviola. Not gonna get it, but Cersei's got
I don't understand it.
There's now
This
one
wasn't the
as
plan.
Noble picks up Eric. Gonna go
Don't wanna demand it. I've done what I can.
Go for the defense. Is he gonna get it? He
I
does.
never mentioned the times you were rude.
That decided really college is just trying to push out. Doesn't get
And I
a
never mentioned
gets
when you were the
the third
truth.
of the cubby. Oh, gets a fourth.
Scared to lose it all. I will stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? Got me saying away. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake.
Yeah, demos coming back and forth, traded across the board here between Mount St. Mary's and Shenandoah. Mango off the wall, however, able to salve Mount St. Mary's on the attack.
Yeah, and right now.
I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness.
No, he can't.
I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known it wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear. Trying to take it.
But eliminate. He's gonna find the
Scared
back.
to lose it all.
Yes, we can see
I
so.
won't stand a chance, and I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain, hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. 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 We've all been here
himself with an explosion.
Steve-O gets a huge
Toxic!
This is going to be huge. This P2 tank trying to just keep him at bay, and we have Relic in mid. Like, we got a cap, and we're getting 2 now. That's a huge second tick, and he
But really unable to find any ground.
and now Farming Yell is putting them into really just holding them at bay, getting a big
Hello and welcome back to Shenandoah Esports, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming at you a little earlier time here on the weekend. My name is Will Jenkins, and joining me on the desk for today is none other than Etherealist, aka Nolan. Nolan, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, ready to watch some League of Legends.
Yeah, dude. It should be absolutely fantastic as Shenandoah takes on ODU here in the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference, or MAEC, for some other people out there. But, Nolan, what do you expect to see out of today's game?
Well, it's our first game of the season here in MAEC, so we have some new teams, a new team from last semester, so really excited to see some new stuff from our kind of reformed new roster here.
Yeah, and actually 2 league rosters this season for Shenandoah, something kind of unprecedented in the past. Normally it's only been 1 that has been organized, and now there's enough people to run 2 teams at once, do more competitions, get some more League of Legends in there. So as you said, Nolan, it's going to be interesting to see how they change and adapt to this new team. A couple new faces and returning faces from last year as well. So it definitely should be interesting. Who do you think should be the players to keep an eye on in this one?
Well, I think the player to watch is really going to be ODU's mid laner and also our mid laner. Kind of that mid matchup. I think those are the highest ranks on both teams, so it's really going to be exciting how that kind of turns out, how that really turns the tides of today's game.
Yeah, no, Exil playing a mid lane for Shenandoah, definitely a one to watch, especially if he gets that Kennen pick for sure. So that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. And another thing I'm excited to see is the top lane matchup today, because we have 2 top laners that really like their tank.
Absolutely. They're just going to be brawling,
yeah,
fist
it's
fighting.
just going to be the classic top lane, just the Metal Gear Solid standing here, I realized.
Yeah, just going to fist fighting.
Endlessly fighting 24/7. I think that is where it's really going to come down to the difference because of how strong tanks are in the current meta. You have Cunning Rhetoric, you have Unending Despair, Heartsteel, just so many good items that make tanks super solid, and also no more mythics. So definitely should be exciting to see that.
Yeah, some to really look out for, especially are the Frozen Heart, super cheap, super reliable.
Yes.
And also Kanik Rookern, which will really help the AP champion just not do damage to your tank.
Yeah.
So that's going to increase the survivability by tenfold for those tanks up there.
Yeah, no, and the thing about that too is the AP meta is so big right now with all the new items, and as we get into draft, we see some quick bans coming out of Shenandoah. We see, of course, the Cassante ban for the top laner and a Samira ban, and just Maokai ban by ODU. Very interesting. I wonder if they're worried about that in the jungle or maybe even top lane with the new buffs.
Now, I'm also concerned for the support position because our support Maokai is kind of a triple flex there. It can go top, jungle, or support, good in every single role there. So they're kind of being safe. It's really good. So also we see the Cassante ban on the side of SU because Linian, their top laner, plays a lot of Cassante. Really comfortable with that champ, and we see the Rel first pick.
Yeah, and the Rel first pick is such a solid choice because, yes, you could flex it in jungle and in support, but it definitely is going to be interesting because it more likely than not will be in the support position because I don't think Becca plays Rel jungle. I don't think I've seen it.
Galaxy
in the champ pool is the word I'm looking for there. So definitely going to be interesting. And meanwhile, we see Viego Vara's first one's locked in. We see a jungle pick first pick. That's kind of unusual.
Yeah, I think they're also playing to take that away from Becca, who is also just very comfortable on that Viego. We've been seeing her play it here in the arena.
Yeah.
And we see the Lilia hover, which means the Rel is going to go to Galaxy Bird if this is locked in. She has been really comfortable on that rail, was playing it yesterday, and we do see the Lilia locked in for jungle.
Yeah, Lilia is such a big part of this Shenandoah red roster because there's 3 Lilia or 2 Lilia mains on this roster. There's 3 Lilia mains overall in all the League of Legends players. Yep. So there's a lot of Lilia people, a lot of Lilia enjoyers. So typically it's rare to see Lilia fall through the cracks like this. And with how strong AP characters are in this Lilia pick is a great pickup up against Viego.
Though I am a little concerned for the Lilia going against so much range.
Yes.
Lilia's going to have a hard time really getting through, especially with the Varus Ashe bot lane picked up, a very common bot lane in pro play and your semi-amateur. It's just going to be a poke hell down there.
Yeah, and we see an Ornn ban coming out. I'm also kind of curious with the Kai'Sa angle because Kai'Sa not in the best spot compared to other ADCs right now, if I'm not mistaken. Nolan, you might be able to enlighten me a little bit on that, but I think there's better options at the ADC position, though.
Yeah, so there's definitely better options right now, but Kai'Sa with the newest patch, Kraken Slayer has been buffed.
That is true. I forgot about that.
So Kai'Sa's going to be a little higher in the tier list, not quite in what would consider an S or maybe an A tier, but definitely kind of the top of B tier.
And if you're good with the character, it doesn't matter what those tier lists are. If you're really good with the character, you're fine playing them. So.
Yeah, for sure.
And we see the Sylas ban come out. That is the biggest threat out of ODU's mid laner by far. And we see double tank bans for top lane on the side of ODU. So they know what animated plays, and they're ready for it. We see a Zoe coming out from ODU.
And they're going to kind of hover between Ori and the Zoe here, looking towards Ori maybe.
I think either one is going to be a massive, massive threat, and Karma is the one locked in, and Karma buffs recently is going to make that an absolute monster for ODU's mid laner to pick up because, yes, they've nerfed her slightly since they buffed her, but it was not nearly enough to do it. Still so much damage pouring out from the, Mantra R? Is that the term?
Yeah.
I don't normally play these kind of characters. I stick to the top lane. So.
Yeah, so Karma, one I'm very familiar with. I love Karma. Her RQ, which is her Mantra Q, got
it is Mantra.
Yes. Nerfed just a little bit this patch, but not enough because usually sometimes you're going to take 3 points into Q and then max your E. So the damage nerf was really non-significant, so it's still pretty good into the meta right now. Yeah,
interesting picks here from the side of Shenandoah. They decided to go Yone Jax, so it looks like it's going to be Yone in the mid lane, Jax top lane. Definitely could be countered fairly easily, and we see Cho'Gath coming out to try and counteract it. Cho'Gath with so much sustain, and it really is that meat shield that this ODU team needs, because you have Viego, Sion actually going to be coming out. Never mind, they do the old switcheroo on us. Sion, a big pickup here, but if Jax can get that Blade of the Ruined King online, he has a chance to do some damage.
Yeah, and I really like the Sion pick because ODU really needed engage. They need a big, beefy boy in the front line. So Sion does it all there.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, Viego is building more crit and on hit right now.
Yeah, he'll
typically
go more of a bruiser.
So
on hit.
you don't really have as much tankiness on that Viego, so you need to find somewhere else to put it, and it doesn't get much tankier than Sion. I mean, quite literally, just sits in front of everyone and just soaks all the damage, especially with the new items that we were talking about. Unending Despair is such a good item on that character because it heals you. The longer you're in fights, it heals you, I believe, every 7 seconds.
Every 7 seconds.
And it scales based on your health. And if you have infinite health scaling, you have an infinite chance to scale your healing as well in team fights. Take a look at the team. They are ready to go in the zone. And just look at all them smiles. They are happy to go and hungry for a win as well.
Yeah, ready to start off the season with a win. So we're going to be getting into game 1 here shortly.
Yeah, what are your predictions for how early game is going to go here?
So I think ODU is going to get a little bit of an edge in the early game just because we've got a lot of scaling champs on the SU side. We've got the Yone, we've got the Jax. They're going to take a little bit of time to ramp up. So the early game might be looking a little iffy, but as long as we can stabilize and get into that late game, we should be good to go for SU.
Yeah, but the question mark, though, heading into late game for SU is, of course, going to be that Scion, though, that infinite scaling health and tank items that make him so strong. And just the amount of poke that ODU has as well, and the ability to deny a lot of Shenandoah, because like you said, that Lilia is going to struggle with all that range. So maybe we see Lilia try and focus top lane a bit, get going, try and snowball into the late game and do what Lilia does best. And you also have the percent max health burn built into her kit as well, which is going to absolutely eat through Scion. So definitely something as well. If you're going to want to counteract that Scion, you need that Lilia to be strong and be in the game from go, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see a focus on top lane. Lilia is going to have a great time. There's going to have the stun on the Jax, super easy gank setup. Lilia can just chew through Scion's health bar, whereas that bot lane, it's going to be nigh impossible to get through with the Ashe slow. If they get 6, you have the Ashe arrow, you have the Varus ult. It's going to be super hard to get through all that CC.
Yeah, no, it really is. And another thing as well is Jax also has seen a massive increase to his win percentage ever since they decided for some reason to make his W affect towers now, because he already had a hard enough time split pushing, right? Yeah, totally. Yeah, great job, guys. No, but his win rate has shot through the roof. He's such an effective split pusher and team fighter now at the same time, because a lot of the reliance of this ODU team is going to be the auto attacks. So if Ashe or Varus is just laying into someone, he can just step in between them, make them focus fire him, and then counter strike, and then they're gone just like that. Or if there's a team fight, he can just go do his own thing up in top lane and just absolutely melt towers for Shenandoah. So I really like this Jax pick heading into this matchup. He just has to be careful to not let this Scion get ahead early.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I would really like to see from the bot lane of SU is I would love to see a Frozen Heart from the Rel first item.
Yes.
2,400 gold, super gold efficient. It's going to be really
so cheap.
It's going to be really good against the Ashe and the Varus combined. It's just a really good item, so I'd love to see that from SU support Galaxy.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be, and I imagine in that mid lane matchup as well, Karma is just going to absolutely deny that Yone, I think, early on. Once you start getting the late game, though, as you talk about the scaling of Yone, that's when he'll actually be able to start doing stuff. He just has to be careful of this early, because once Karma gets that Malignance online, that's going to be a big damage buff, especially with the passive proc of it, to just shred the MR. So he's not going to really have anything to protect him at all, even if he builds like a Wit's End or something like that.
Yeah, and I would love to see, if you're on the side of SU, disciplined play. Level 1 through 2, I believe you cannot really trade with the Karma. Once you hit 3, get all your abilities, you can start eating forward, getting quick trades with your W and your Qs. You can start trading with that Karma, because she's really susceptible to CC or ganks, especially once you hit 6 and get that ult.
Yeah.
She's really squishy and will just straight up die.
Yeah, compared to most other characters, Karma doesn't hit a power spike at 6 because she just constantly has her ult. And as we get into a game here, we get to see the just kind of options. Meanwhile, we take a look at the bot lane. No support item picked up for either one.
So this is interesting because they changed, in 14.2, they changed the support item so that it applies to everyone on the team who has it. So I have seen this a little bit, but I'm not sure why the Ashe doesn't have the support item.
Maybe forgot? I don't know. Or maybe they got something cooking. I know our Shenandoah Blue roster tried to cook up with some tech with that in the new season, but ultimately we'll have to wait and see on that one until Wednesday. But the big trades coming out here in bot lane right now, just absolutely chunking down a Firm Mattress. Just so much range and so much poke on this bot lane.
Yeah, and you see you have double Hail of Blades on the Ashe and the Varus, so lots of auto attack coming out very quickly in a short amount of time there. As we see the RW on the Karma just kind of keeping her space. As Yone trying to trade back here, knows Karma doesn't have any spells. Really nice trade from Yone there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And this is what you kind of have to do against Karma. You have to poke her out and not let her just control the tempo of the lane, because she can just do exactly that. That's why Karma top lane was such a popular pick for a period of time, is because she just dominated the flow of the waves in top lane. And a unfortunate just wasn't able to get out of that route by Karma, but that's just the oppressive power of Karma, able to control the tempo, control the pace, and really deny you what you want to do in that lane.
Yeah, and interesting thing top lane, the Scion has opted for Ghost Teleport, kind of opting out of the flash that you usually see. The Karma just kind of going for RW and then some poke, just trying to get Yone out of that lane. If you look at bot lane here as well, the bot lane was forced to back because they were just poked out so much they just could not exist in that lane. Trying to look for a kill on the mid lane, Karma just barely misses.
The minion autos almost had him. Yeah, very close with the minion autos, and you mentioned bot lane having the back now down 7 CS, it's 5 CS now, early on, is bigger than most people will think, especially with the chance of them missing XP. I don't think there was too much XP missed on the side of Shenandoah, but it definitely could involve bot lane of ODU hitting 3 before Shenandoah does, so they get an extra spell completely and more health and more stats. So definitely going to be interesting, and it's actually going to be level 3 on both sides at the same time, so they aren't able to capitalize on just that.
Yeah, trying to look for a gank here. We see Viego coming behind. They might get pincered here. Looking on Firm Mattress, the Viego and the Varus. Firm Mattress flashing away to try, and that's first blood over to the Viego. Rel falling shortly after. Double kill.
Yeah, massive, massive double kill there for ODU to start things off. A great gank, is able to catch Shenandoah out of position, really punishes them for being pushed up too far, able to create that pincer effect with the bot lane and makes them pay. 2 kills early to Viego. It's a scary, scary sight if you are the Shenandoah team.
Yeah, for sure. But looking on the bright side, we have the mid laner, Yone. He was able to TP back, got a lot of that wave that he was going to potentially miss. So we have top lane. This is exactly what we were talking about, the stun off the Jax. They just don't have enough gas.
Forces Ghost, though.
Yeah, the Ghost being popped. That's what we like to see. I would like to see a regank here before this Ghost comes up.
Yeah, either that or they might prioritize Grubs here, but we see Ashe moving up to try and prevent that from happening. Lilia, not knowing that Viego's there, already at half HP. Is it going to be even more taken away? Counter-Strike coming out from this Jax is going to stun the Scion. However, so much health is going to go for the Q. Misses the Q. Just so much damage here. 3v2. No chance that they're winning that, and they are going to fall right there. Great roam by Ashe to help out with ODU, securing Grubs here early on.
Yeah, and I think they thought the fight looked good, which it did, but the Ashe roam up kind of sealed the deal, and unfortunately falls 1 kill.
Yeah, no, it really does, and it's such an awkward position too, because you are committed to this full fight, and meanwhile you don't know that Ashe is there the entire time, and it causes you to lose, and forces Varus Flash Ignite coming out as well from Galaxy Bird. So great job there of using some. Unfortunate not to get the result that they wanted. And right now, I feel like ODU is playing aggressive yet safe at the same time. They're forcing Shenandoah into these poor positions and really executing on the misplays of SU. And Flash coming out here from the Rel right as I was about to start. Forces the Flash there. 1 health left. Galaxy Bird going to find a kill onto the Varus. Has to be careful though. This Kai'Sa's low. And Vigorous has taken out Firm Mattress, and now Lilia trying to run away from this Viego. Meanwhile, the slow's coming out. Is Galaxy Bird going to be able to get away? I don't know. I don't think so. But meanwhile, Lilia's here, but is Lilia going to catch it in time? No, they are not. And Becca unable to capitalize off that. And it is a 2-for-1 for ODU. And this Ashe right now is looking scary. And they have a support item now.
Yeah, so I want to go back to what we just saw. I really like the punish from SU's bot lane. They knew the Ashe was on a reset from topside, as we see Karma trying to chunk out Yone here. But they saw the Ashe on a back, so they knew they could get aggressive. It was 1v2 guaranteed, and they blew the flash of the Varus. Also able to get the flash of the Ashe, but just not able to seal the deal. The Ashe doing so much damage at this point of the game with the Hail of Blades.
Yeah, and you got to be careful right now if you are this Jax, because this Scion, you're running out of time to punish this Scion, and he's going to just start getting max health like crazy with his passive, and if he gets his Sunfire online, you are not going to have a good time, because Scion with 1 or 2 items is just so hard to beat in top lane 1v1. You're going to need the help of your jungler, and right now, it's not looking so hot for this jungle. If we take a look at the CS difference, 36 to 54, and then we take a look at the gold lead as well, is just absolutely massive. And meanwhile, a great solo pickup by that Scion right there onto that Jax, realizes that he has him low enough, and I'd say that's the biggest weakness of Jax in that top lane, is that he doesn't have any sustain compared to most other auto attackers and top laners.
Yeah, for sure. In a really close fight we just saw there, the Scion barely getting enough mana to kind of activate that ult, which is kind of what you want to look for in a counterpick to Jax. He can dodge your autos, but people who make really good use of those spells are really hard to fight against for that Jax.
Yeah, no, definitely Exiel using the tether to try and escape the root from Karma, is able to do just that. And this is kind of the ebb and flow that we talked about in this mid lane, and Exiel's doing a fantastic job of staying alive. Meanwhile, Lily is going to try and go for this dragon, but I would be very careful with how strong that Viego is right now. Has 6, has his ultimate, and has 3 kills up and way more CS, and Dragon will fall in favor of ODU to start things off. So both objectives that have been taken so far have gone in favor of ODU. We have first round of Grubs going in favor, and first Dragon also going in their favor.
Yeah, and for sure, I would love to see SU kind of call down their jungler to break this freeze on bot side, because right now, Firm Mattress and Galaxy are way too far behind to even step up to all this poke. So they're just getting poked out of all this farm. So they really, I would like to see them call down their jungler after Chu is on red side as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, they're going to try and go in, but they're already at half health. Heal is going to come out, and it is just absolutely deleted. Cleanse comes out from Firm Mattress, but it is not enough. And another double kill in favor of ODU. And this poke is just absolutely harassing the side of Shenandoah. And meanwhile, Viego now has just set up camp in Shenandoah's jungle. Now Lilia trying to escape out of it, but there's 3 collapsing on, and Viego is going to be able to get the form, and the kill is going to actually go towards Karma in that scenario. It feels like ODU's everywhere on the map at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, and this should translate into 6 grubs for the side of ODU, which is going to really hurt on the split push. This Scion is always going to want to be in the side lane, can always just ult to the team fight, so he will just be a monster in the side lane. They're going to have to bring 2-3 people, and he's still going to be chunking that tower.
Yeah, no, definitely, and if he gets a Hullbreaker or Titanic Hydra online, it's going to be a problem for the side of Shenandoah. Sussy Becca forced the flash now, trying to go in on this Viego. Counter-Strike going to go out, and it's going to force an ult over the wall, and this Viego is going to have to dip out before that fight really happens. Got a little too greedy there. Shenandoah tried to punish him, forces ult and flash. Big for Shenandoah. Unfortunate not to get that 400 gold shutdown, though.
Yeah, really nice punish. Animated, kind of recognizing that his jungler's in trouble, recognizing, oh, this Viego has way overstepped. Nice kind of getting the flash and the ulti there.
Yeah, because you need basically all the help you can get right now to try and deal with this Viego, who is just absolutely feasting. Meanwhile, Ash Arrow coming out of nowhere, taking out Exiel under tower, and Karma able to do the finishing blow. I did not see that arrow coming till the last second.
Yeah, we've got an American sniper here, kind of from that river, shooting that arrow. Really nice shot. Karma able to finish
like
it
me
off.
and Irv.
Absolutely. Able to finish off with the Mantra Q.
If I lied, I just wanted to look cool.
Ash, very fun pick. Can lots of CC just everywhere. Can confirm those both ticks of the RQ for Karma. Lots of damage there.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting just how oppressive this Ashe is, especially after not buying a support item to start. I elected to go with the Doran's blade, and I'd say it worked out very well. So that's gonna be something to keep an eye on as the season progresses. See which teams are electing to do that, and just see the strategies that a lot of different teams will come up with based on the new support changes in this new season.
Yeah, so the Ashe kind of opted for more damage. The Doran's Blade providing a lot of AD and health early, so they were just like, we're going to fight them.
Yeah.
We don't care. We're just going to kill them, and that'll provide enough gold for me to get my support item.
Yeah.
Which seems like it worked, so.
Yeah, I would definitely say so, and a 7K gold lead in favor of ODU right now is exactly what you want to see if you're a fan of ODU. Meanwhile, just not being able to move is on the menu for this rel as just absolutely CC just locked for that kill in bot lane in favor of them. Ashe Arrow, Varus Root, it doesn't matter. You can't move, you can't hit them back, and you'll just die. And that's exactly what happens to Galaxy Bird. A little unfortunate there. And now we're at that peak point of this Scion, who has just been absolutely power farming now that he's gotten to a certain point in the game, just continuously stacking up that max health. And it is able to get a really big shield because of it. And now we're going to see Animated try and go in. Doesn't have the jump and is going to fall yet again. That Scion just so oppressive in that top lane.
Yeah, one thing I would have liked to see there, if you see... Hold on, we got to engage here. Bot lane. Oh, the W missing from Kaisa, unfortunately. Gets the flash out, but no further play there. But I would have loved to see the flash from Animated used there. Scion not having a lot of mana. As long as you dodge that Q, you have a lot of room to work with, possibly get that kill there.
Plus, it takes so long to charge back up, or to come back up, and then it also takes time to charge it. So you can get a good amount of autos in as well. I am curious to see what this Jax is going to go for. Probably not looking like he's going to go. What's the
Bork?
Bork, thank you. Blade of the Ruined King first. Looks like instead electing.
Looks like Trinity Force here.
I don't think Trinity builds from Hammer like that, so it definitely could be interesting to see what he's going to be going with. And meanwhile, Galaxy Bird just rest in peace.
Under the tower here.
No chance of doing that. And we see just the impact that this grub buff has for ODU. I mean, we saw Scion just absolutely melt the tower, and it really just also the whole team now can split push essentially with this grub buff. And meanwhile, Exil just being not able to really farm now. This Karma's reached that point with Malignance, and the damage just goes through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. Karma hitting Malignance, that key kind of item spike there. Also has the alternator there, as you can see, providing a lot of damage as we see Viego going in. Rel counter engaged with the Ashe Arrow coming through. Viego getting low. As we see almost a kill here. Animated has to flash out, getting a kill on Becca. We see Claude the Goat. Almost
is she going to be escaped? No.
As the sign comes down, it's going to be a, looks like 3-for-1 trade. They do get the shutdown on the Viego, so all is not lost, but...
Yeah, bit unfortunate there. Shenandoah trying to throw everything they have at ODU and only getting kill on Viego out of it. However, you get the gold bonus that was on Viego. You have basically every other person, though, on ODU with a shutdown in hand, so definitely a lot of gold to be won across the board to try and close this almost 11K gold gap heading into this. And if we take a look at the objectives right now, Rift Herald is up, and I imagine ODU will have no trouble contesting this one.
Yeah, and I believe Lily is the one who got the shutdown there. I'm not exactly sure, though.
Yep,
Looks like so. A lot of gold going back. I'm not sure how much the shutdown was. I believe it was between 700 and 900 gold, somewhere in there. So lots of gold going over to the Lilia. But again, that Lilia is going to have a hard time engaging. Gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Viego looking to kill, enact vengeance on this Lilia for taking his life.
Yeah, tried to get his revenge. Just not enough damage right there. Great job by Becca to get out of there with Flash and recognize that. However, that leaves no prio for this Rift Herald, and the Rift Herald changes make it so much more of a menace now. You only get one throughout the progress of a game. However, the amount of damage it does to towers now is so strong. Meanwhile, Exil with an ult onto this Karma isn't unable to move. Great job by Karma to step out of there. Can't quite hit the Q and is now in trouble with this root. And this Karma's damage is just so large and is going to be a kill for CLOL the GOAT. Just absolutely playing that perfectly against that. And now Viego uses the Unstoppable to avoid the sleep, and it's now Lilia. It should be able to just clean up on Shenandoah here. One more falls, double kill. Is it going to be 3? Yes, it is. Triple kill for ODU.
Yeah, and Viego using a really nice tech, so the Unstoppable out of the Viego ult, able to cleanse the sleep there, able to pick up 3 kills. And I want to go back to the Karma Yone fight. The Karma really nice spacing, has the movement speed from the E to dodge the ult, and then just able to space with the Mantra W to get an extended route, some health back, and really just lock Yone in place.
And a bowling ball from downtown does connect on the Karma. Kind of forces them off that tower and allows Shenandoah to keep their tier 2 there in bot lane for a bit longer. But right now, it seems like ODU is in complete control of this game, and they are doing so well with it. We take a look across the board, not a single tier 1 on this side of ODU. Meanwhile, we look at their own towers. Shenandoah has yet to take a tier 1. So maybe we see Jax kind of try and find a side lane to push and get those objective bounties on, because those objective bounties will be so big to try and close this massive gold gap here early on as well. You have a shutdown on the entire team of ODU, so definitely going to be something that you're going to want to take advantage of. You are Shenandoah, and meanwhile, Galaxy Bird not checking bushes is going to get hit by the Scion knockup, but nothing's going to come out of it, is going to leave for safety. But that's something that is always going to have to be lingering in your mind if you are Shenandoah, is if there is a Scion waiting in the bush, and we see it from downtown. It's the Ash Arrow connecting onto Galaxy Bird. I feel like half the game has just been Galaxy Bird not being able to play the game.
Yeah, and we see the camera Yone kind of in trouble here. Going to opt to ult out, but the flash, nice flash from Exil, but going to get hit by the Scion ult. The sleep not going to come in because the Lilia does not have the ult up. Animated taking a nice trade on the Karma, but going to get locked down by the RW. Not quite in range. Good spacing by the Karma. Jax not going to be able to get the job done there. Really nice try. Trying to get those shutdowns. Oh, and the W not able to get over the wall. Going to get locked up by the Varus ult and not going to be able to escape. Polaris on a killing spree here in this game.
Yeah, no, really just perfect play by ODU across the board right there to really just take all those team fights and play them perfectly. You have Scion chasing after Yone, who's trying to run for his life, and this Karma, we've seen it so many times in this game. We see it yet again. The perfect spacing just absolutely denies all the abilities of the Jax. We saw the amount of shield that Karma got. I believe that was the empowered E, but still absolutely phenomenal job by that Karma to utilize the abilities to the best of their abilities, especially with the buff to Karma definitely being seen here in this game.
Yeah, and we see ODU opting to do Baron on spawn at the 20-minute mark here. Sign going to try and hold the Dragon, shooting the arrow, trying to help the Scion. He's just trying to stall, as we see, unfortunately.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. The Scion just holding on. He's so tanky.
He's not taking any damage.
Down about a third of his life bar. They're trying to finish the Dragon.
They get the objective bounty, that's big, but now they have to fight for their life.
Sleep, really nice ult combo. Rel picking up the
kill.
With
the shutdown again.
Viego really low. Viego going down. We see some kills traded here, animated on the back on the Ash. Becca is still living here.
Yeah, real close fight there for Shenandoah, just unable to deal with the just immense gold gain and just massive lead that ODU has in basically every department. And Galaxy Bird once again picking up another bounty for themselves, which ideally you don't want on your support who is playing an engaged tank. But still a great job there to pick up that kill. And right now I expect just a full-on siege by ODU here. Oh, never mind. They're going to back off.
Yeah, so the timer's kind of coming up. There are only about 25-second timers. They're going to opt for a reset here. But a big point is Yone got one of those shutdowns. You see everyone on ODU had those shutdowns. That's got to be one of the only ways Shenandoah can get back in this game is claiming those shutdowns. Yon claiming one for himself. We'll see what he can do with it. Still a few items down. Karma picking up that death cap, though.
And another thing I want to take a note of is the levels across the board. I mean, Galaxy Bird went into that fight at level 9 compared to level 14 and 15 from the side of ODU, which is just absolutely absurd. And it's going to be so difficult to win a fight. Furmatch is forced to cleanse. That Ash arrow is going to be, or that Ash ult, not, she's got a lot of arrows, so I should probably specify that. But right now, it's just a siege on the base by ODU. They recognize the Lily as a threat. Ult coming out here from Yon, and just across the board, Yon deleted, and now, or Yon deleted someone, excuse me, and now it's just cleanup crew time, though, for ODU as the rest of Shenandoah falls.
Yeah, Yon able to pick up the kill on the Varus, but it's not enough. ODU is going to look to end the game here just shortly, and that's going to be...
Are they going to be able to pick up the last kill? Yep, one more kill.
Zion dying at the end there, but ODU taking game 1.
Very solidly, I might add. I mean, across the board, leads in every department. A lot of shutdowns, a lot of gold left on the board there for SU, but still a lot of bright spots though for Shenandoah. Still, team fights were phenomenal for given what they had going into those team fights for sure. So definitely going to be something to keep an eye on for game 2 to see how Shenandoah adjusts for that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Yon was really good from the side of SU.
Yes, I like the Yon pick.
They need to do a few draft adjustments, maybe take some of that poke out of the bot lane because they just could not play the game.
Yeah.
Maybe opt for something outside of the rel that can maybe contest that lane. But Exil on the Yon looked really good there.
Yeah, the mid lane matchup was really well done. It's that Karma had more resources to work with in the end and had phenomenal positioning. I don't think we saw that Karma out of position the entire game.
Yeah,
like
really
played absolutely solid, absolutely perfect, and it helped lead ODU to a solid win. And I want to quickly touch on that top lane a little bit. Is that Jax did really well to start things off, but once Sion started hitting that mid and late game, there wasn't much he could do. There was no Bork. There was no % max health damage. So that Sion's just quite literally gonna feast and just poke you down with that charged Q every single time, and is going to lead to your lead slipping away.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Jax played great, had a lot of close calls.
Yes.
Maybe some that could have gone his way, and if they did, the game might have been different, but unfortunately
I also really like the Lilia pick. The Lilia was really well once they got it to the late game, but I think ODU punished that early period really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. If you saw the Ash roaming up, was all over the map, shooting arrows all over.
Yeah, those Ash arrows were clean.
Yeah, and you could see why the Varus Ash is a really common combo, especially in high elo.
Yes.
It's forcing you to take cleanse. You've got the double kind of root and stun. So much CC. You can set up your jungler for a gank, as you saw Viego was coming down there quite a few times.
Yeah.
And they were just able to dominate that lane from early with the double hail of blades as well.
Yeah, and I believe both bot laners for ODU are both ADC mains, so maybe electing to go with that Ashe support, maybe a little more of a comfort pick, being an AD carry flex with support for sure. You could definitely see quite comfortable on it that entire match.
Yeah, I think that absolutely makes sense if that's what you have to deal with. The Ashe looking really good as we're looking to go into game 2 awfully shortly.
Yeah,
once the teams are ready.
I think the biggest thing that Shenandoah needs to do is to take that poke out of that bot lane.
Yeah.
Because I think without that, Shenandoah stands a much better chance. It was the fact that they just couldn't step up at all. That Rel couldn't get any engage, and it's what cost them the game. But that is going to be it for game number 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back really quickly with game number 2 for you guys.
The Viego and the Varus. Furmatch flashing away to try, and that's first blood over to the Viego. Rel falling shortly after.
So much health is going to go for the Q. Misses the Q. Just so much damage here. 3v2. No chance. And flash coming out here from the Rel right as I was about to start. Forces the flash there. 1 health left. Galaxy Bird going to find the kill onto the Varus. Has to be careful though.
After she was on red side as well.
Yeah, meanwhile they're going to try and go in, but they're already at half health. heal is going to come out, and it is just absolutely deleted. Cleanse comes out from Furby. It's interesting to see what he's going to be going with. And meanwhile, Galaxy Bird just rest in peace.
Under the tower here.
No,
the Ash Arrow coming through. Viego getting low. As we see, almost a kill here. Animated has to flash out, getting a kill on Becca. We see Flo the Goat.
Is she going to be perfectly against that? And now Viego uses the Unstoppable to avoid the sleep, and it's now Lilia. It should be able to just clean up on Shenandoah here. One more falls, double kill. Is it going to be 3? Yes, it is.
A third of his life bar. They're trying to finish the dragon.
They get the objective bounty. That's big, but now they have to fight for their life.
Really nice ult combo. Rel picking up the
Rel with the shutdown again.
Viego really low. Viego going down.
Board Yon deleted, and now, or Yon deleted someone, excuse me, and now it's just cleanup crew time though for ODU as the rest of Shenandoah.
Here,
yeah,
just shortly, and that's going to be.
Are they gonna be able to?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Shenandoah Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia. Excuse me. Surprise! Bit of a line change. We have 2 new casters. My name is Chris Clayton, and I'm joined by my brother, Kevin Clayton. Kevin, you ready to watch some League of Legends?
Oh, my goodness, Chris. There are no better words to hit my ears. I'm so excited to watch some League. And, oh, my goodness, we had a pretty interesting game going in just before against ODU. Do we want to recap that a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk about a little bit of what we saw. Pretty dominant performance from ODU on just firing on all cylinders, really. We saw a very aggressive bot lane, very aggressive draft, actually. We'll go all the way to the beginning. Very, like I said, aggressive, almost greedy, but, I mean, profitable. Yeah. Draft from ODU. We see a Scion in top, Viego jungle, Karma mid into Yon. That looked like a nightmare for any Yon player. But then we saw the duo 80 carries bot with a start that didn't include a support item, which was actually very interesting to me, but it kind of fed this hyper-aggressive level 1, we are going to bully you, and it forced a recall level 1. It was very interesting.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that I personally love to see in League of Legends, especially with the new season, is trying these sort of different strategies. There was stuff that we've been experimenting with. And I mean, when it comes down to the sort of like, oh, I'm not really sure how to expect like this to work. You hit tab, you see double 80 carries with double Doran's items.
Right.
You're like, what am I supposed to expect here? And at that point, we talk about it during Smash, you have to fall back on your fundamentals. And sometimes it's just the kind of thing that takes you by surprise. You're swept under the rug, and oh my goodness, we're going into draft.
Yes, and a quick little note as we do get into draft. For those of you who may watch our other streams, yes, we do cast our Smash Bros. Streams, but Kevin and I get to compete on our other League of Legends roster. We actually are lucky enough to have 2 rosters here at Shenandoah, so it's been a lot of fun working with this team. We know these players very well. We're very excited to watch them, but enough about us. Let's talk about this draft. From the side of Shenandoah, who will be back on blue side, it appears, we have, oh no, excuse me, Shenandoah is on red side. Samira Ban, Cassante, and Karma, and will respond to the Lucian with Xayah.
Yes, and with that, I like to see when it comes to the bans, they're getting rid of a lot of, SU's getting rid of a lot of these hard carry, like, if there's a little bit of a snowball, it's a very big snowball sort of characters. You got Samira, you got Cassante, and I mean, whether or not you think Cassante's in a super good spot or not right now, the character is just very good.
Right.
And then getting rid of that Karma, who earlier we said caused so many problems before, but as we continue through the draft, we do see the Viego locked in, and a hover of Nami on the other side, the Lucian-Nami combo, strong as can be. You know a little bit more about that than I would.
Yeah, certainly expected that this is a Nami pick. It is a Xin Zhao for now, but I would be shocked if ODU chooses anyone but Nami, and yeah, sure enough, there it is. Nami able to really enable Lucian's passive on top of her own auto-attacking buffs. Just very strong combo all around, especially if Lucian takes first strike. I mean, this is just textbook bot lane, hyper-aggressive duo. But we will see the other textbook bot lane duo in Xayah Rakan, literally designed to go together.
Yeah, I feel like that we just witnessed a handshake. You know, you get rid of Senna, you get rid of Samira, and both sides are like, all right, you get one of the bot lanes that is super strong right now, we'll take the other, and we'll just see sort of what potential snowballs off of that. So overall, very solid draft for both sides. But as we continue on, we're seeing a lot of bans in the mid lane on the side of Shenandoah, and we see 2 tanks taken out from the side of Old Dominion. Chris, I'm thinking we're going to see top lane pick from the side of Shenandoah and potentially give the counter pick to the mid laner and really limit what Old Dominion has to offer. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely interesting. And I think ODU made very smart bans in Malphite and Ornn because so far Shenandoah's front line is Viego, arguably, and Rakan can charm people, but ultimately needs to get out. He can only take so much damage. We do see the Jax, which I assume to be a top laner, which means you are right. The counter pick will be going to Shenandoah's mid laner, Exil.
Yes.
But we see lots of hovers come from ODU, and we'll see how they plan to answer and what they plan to blind pick mid lane.
They're hovering over a lot of mid laners, a lot of dangerous picks, and they go in for the Akali, the kind of character that you see only on rare occasions, but even in pro play, when you see it, it demands attention, it demands presence, and it's something you really need to be, hold on a second. Oh, we might have 2 flex characters on the side of Old Dominion.
Yeah, this is very, very smart. ODU said, all right, you want to give your counter pick to your mid laner? Well, we're just going to make it so that we pick 2 champs at the same time, and we, in the end, get to choose who goes where. Akali or Pantheon could go either mid or top, and I would argue Diana and Jax could do the same, but I expect that to be a Jax top and a Diana mid. It is looking to shape out that way. Tentatively, we see Pantheon sitting top lane for ODU. As this draft client works, I believe the timer to stop trading is 30 seconds.
That sounds right.
So we should know in a couple seconds here these solo lane matchups, but it certainly looks like Pantheon will be top against Jax and Akali will stay mid against Diana. Kevin, you yourself are a top laner, and you certainly reacted passionately to that Pantheon pick. How do you feel about that?
Okay, Pantheon is the kind of character who has this dominant early game and then has this sort of weird mid game where if you have your lead, you're able to snowball it into the mid game and it will carry you on to the late game. And Pantheon late game is a beast that I think a lot of people sleep on. Having 30% armor pen on his ultimate alone, on top of getting different items such as Black Cleaver and Eclipse stacking on this like armor pen, lethality, everything, it's so much damage. But we see at the same time Jax, who has a very commanding presence, more so I would argue in the mid and late. His early game is definitely strong, but compared to Pantheon, it's the kind of thing that you have to respect. And similarly, I would argue the same for the mid laners. I think we see that the Diana will have a slightly weaker early game against the Akali, but as the game continues, when you have these team fights where you have Rakan engage along with Diana ulti, as long as the gold keeps up, as long as SU's players are able to match the items relatively well, these team fights are going to be explosive for the side of SU.
Yeah, certainly. And I want to take a note to say, like, while we talked about how textbook these bot lane matchups are and, other lanes, there's a lot of comfort, specifically from what we know about these Shenandoah players. Like we said, we have the pleasure of working with this team very regularly. We know who they like, who they don't like. And so picks like the Viego and the Jax and, like, stuff like that are, very much comfort picks at the end of the day. And that's what's fun about this collegiate space, right? We can compare these players to pros and whatnot however much we want. But at the end of the day, you're good at what you're good at at this level. And Shenandoah is good at these players. Is that grammar correct? I don't even know. But comfort picks. Shenandoah got what they wanted, took away what they didn't want to play against, and overall, I just feel great about their draft.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised on the side of ODU that they didn't try to ban out the Jax. We saw it last game, and while it didn't have this sort of like game-dominating presence, it didn't have, like, it didn't keel over either. There were moments of like light for the top lane. And so for them to just give it again, I'm wondering if they're hoping to shut it down early, and that's where that sort of shutdown will be. Not so much from getting rid of the character, but understanding what they want and punishing it almost like you're looking at a fighting game or something like that, where it is very just gameplay oriented rather than outside draft oriented.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and only time will tell how that plays out. But I want to take a moment to talk about my my expertise, if you will,
yes,
which is this bot lane. Lucian Nami, like we described, is going to be extremely overwhelming, level 1, level 2, level 3 even. But the interesting thing is that while Xayah and Rakan are pretty defensive in nature, and like Xayah scales very hard and is one of the most terrifying late game ADCs to have to deal with, when paired with a Rakan and with how Xayah's W works on both of them, I will be very interested to see how well SU's bot lane will be able to fight back, because that's the kind of thing that could totally shift the draft, or at least the reasoning behind this ODU draft. If your Lucian Nami doesn't get grossly ahead early, then what are you picking it for?
Chris, it happened again. The Nami has a Doran's ring.
See, this confuses me. I don't know how much I can explain that. It's very interesting because it made a lot more sense to me last game with the double AD carries and really wanting to go up and pressure as much as you can, level 1 and level 2, and just, I mean, specifically level 1. And a support item won't give you as much damage, sure. But a Doran's ring on Nami, I feel like does not have the same effect as we see a quick little Just Dance showdown in the mid lane. But I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I mean, clearly Nami's looking to get a lot of auto attacks off, but I would like to see more money flowing into Nami's pocket from a support item.
You know what I'm wondering is, support items got changed recently, where you execute the minions, you're guaranteed the 20 gold, and I believe if you hit the enemy champion, it's 35?
Something like that, 32.
Yeah, and because of that, I'm wondering if the Nami is more so reliant on, like, or doesn't have the faith that that amount of gold, while giving the rest to the AD carry, is what you want. I'm wondering if their strategy relies around, maybe we want this little bit of extra damage early and just let the items fly as they come, and the gold income won't change as much. But as we see a little bit of a skirmish down bot lane, we do see just how much damage Lucian Nami can push out. But also, I believe, Chris, they're going to hit level 2.
Yeah, watch the minions.
Ooh,
as we do see a fight top lane as well. ODU's top laner will hit level 2 first.
Oh,
and
careful, he's going to flash.
A flash from both sides. A great reaction from Animated, the Jax for Shenandoah. Way to stay alive and just cut your losses at this point. But now we do have a level 2 engage for ODU. Fur Mattress will also survive with borderline 1 HP and will be forced to recall level 1 again.
Yes, and that's the dangerous point of this game now. We do see on the top side of the map that Flash and Ignite were burned, and on the bottom half there were no sums used. But now as we look at mid lane, we see the pressure, the early game pressure, we talked about it earlier, is strong. This is what we're expecting to see for this early part of the game. But there is now one plate down on the side of the bot lane, and we are only 3 minutes into this game.
Yeah, getting a plate of gold before 3 minutes in, and seeing how huge that wave was that Shenandoah now loses. I mean, Fur Mattress is still level 1. That's a massive loss for Shenandoah so far. But not out of it yet, as Lucian and Nami have not had the opportunity to recall. While they do have experience in their favor, if Shenandoah can't take a fight right now, the money will be favoring ODU, and it looks like they're going to look to punish even further. If Shenandoah can fight back, they have a chance, but now already Fur Mattress down to less than half of her HP, and HP advantage still ODU.
Yes, now as we do see sort of the lane states of mid and top, the pressure again that both sides are exuding as the mid laner goes in, tries to go for a quick exchange, but gets bursted very quickly by the Akali, and that's just the nature of the matchup. Unfortunately, when you're up against an Akali, you do just have to respect that electrocute damage output, but on the bot side of the map, you also have to respect the pressure of that Lucian Nami, as now they're struggling to get close to the wave and get the experience back that they are desperately in need of.
Yeah, and we see a fight here top now as Animated might look for an opportunity to really chunk out this Pantheon. We won't see a kill either direction, but it goes for both sides as Nami finds a bubble onto Xayah, and Lucian still has Flash, and Ignite will come out, but it won't be enough. Furmattress forced to recall again, but the wave is so screwed for Shenandoah. I mean, this Shenandoah bot lane is just bleeding money, bleeding CS, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Chris, we are almost 5 minutes into the game, and look at the gold difference already. About 600 gold down on the side of the bot lane. Now, while they haven't bought items, it's still so detrimental when the Xayah has had to back twice. But as you look around the other side of the map, the only one who's really keeping pace on the side of SU is the jungler, who, while not ganking too much at this point, has been sort of matching the Xin Zhao in tempo across the map. And because of that now, SU is going to need to start calling for help on the side of their laners.
Yeah, and this has just been textbook wave management from ODU. All three lanes have been basically frozen against Shenandoah, if not just unusable. Yeah, look, all three lanes have been pushing against ODU, and they've been managing to hold all three. Bot lane did push in so that Lucian could finally get his recall off and buy a full Noon Quiver, but we do see Grubs up, and now this is the first neutral objective. Lucian will not be here. The financial advantage that ODU has, they cannot capitalize on yet. Xin Zhao does have double longswords, but Viego has a Noon Quiver. I would like to see more resistance from Shenandoah here, but it looks like we won't get it, as Jax will look for an engage on Pantheon. Not much action there, and it looks like Grubs will just go to ODU.
Yes, and now the point of the Grubs is when you hit 5 or 6, that is your dream. Giving the first 3 while putting you at a slight deficit isn't as bad as when it snowballs even further, but it's going to be on the players to figure out a way to get back into this, as Jax is going to jump on the Xin Zhao, and the Xin Zhao having to burn Flash, and Becca taking the gold from the Gromp. Here's the fight breaking out. The Pantheon ulti is used. Chris, take it over.
This is going to get so violent as we now have a fight down bot side as well, but there will be a pick from Viego onto Xin Zhao, and they will trade Jax for it. Pantheon getting so low, but will find a kill onto Diana, and now we have a 1v1 in the jungle. The bot fight results in nothing, but Viego taking over Pantheon will still be fighting this Akali. This is very close, but the Q can crit it, it will. The kill will go to Viego, and we have an equal scoreboard. Now, down bot lane during all of that, the Lucian Nami finds its potential again, chunking out both of these bot laners and leaving Xayah with no HP and Rakan with literally 0 HP, as he will now go back to base, and ODU will look to dive and get it. This Lucian is level 6.
Yeah, and this is the detriment of the game, is when you are getting this snowball in experience, it is so difficult to come back from an experience, a level deficit, and because of that, Rakan is level 4, Xayah is level 3, and Lucian has his ult. As much as these fights topside were so good, I mean, Viego already has a Kraken Slayer. The problem is that you need to help your bot lane, you need to get them back into this game. But is the Viego going to be enough now at this point, as the pressure is really starting to build?
Yeah, and just take a moment to look at, I'm glad our observer just pulled up gold. I was just about to talk about it. Take a minute, excuse me, to look at the CS differences. Shenandoah's top laner is down 30 CS. The mid laner is down 30 CS. The bot lane is down almost 40 CS. While Shenandoah is only down 1 kill, the gold deficit is huge. Now Viego finds an engage onto Nami and might get a kill from it, as he will. Now we have a fight up top lane as well that likely won't result in much, but a Nami bubble onto Xin Zhao and a massive engage from Diana, and Rakan will find a huge burst. But will it be enough damage? Akali is dishing out, but won't find a kill onto Rakan. We have trades, but there was a kill top lane as well. And the scoreboard is evened once again at 6-6.
Yes, and while the gold deficit is starting to close again, the CS is what is really killing this right now, as Lucian goes for the ult and is trying to pressure this
I don't think this is
mid
real.
laner. Nah, it might be real,
Wow! Lucian's able to find a kill with almost half his ult missing, but a full Kraken Slayer will be able to put it away. Now Rakan looks for an engage with not much health, and will just escape out to safety. Still very low though. One quick Lucian burst could spell death for this Rakan, but we do have a Viego on a flank. We'll find a stun onto Nami. Rakan lock up onto Nami, and they will find the kill. If they're able to kill this Lucian, this is a huge shutdown for Shenandoah, and they get it.
Oh,
Viego
nice.
is 6-1. If you're going to funnel money onto Shenandoah's roster, Viego is not a bad place to put it.
Yes, and I mean, talk about a character that carries so much demanding presence. Becca doing a great job. Boom. Becca doing a great job of really keeping up with the Xin Zhao. Sure, the Xin Zhao is going for the red buff, but the money on Viego is going to be keeping up, if not exceeding, what Xin Zhao has to offer, as now we have a 2v2 down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, we're looking for more, as Shenandoah will look to find a stun onto Akali, but the Viego stun will go wide left. But if Diana has any more damage left, this could be a kill. One more stun is dodged, and Akali will escape with her life. But we talked about
play.
Yeah, dangerous play. Now Rakan looking for potentially a little bit of damage, but if he is not careful, could go down. But he will walk out with his life. But we talk about adjustments after game one. This feels like a whole different game. This feels like almost a whole different roster.
Yes, and I agree. But we do need to be careful, because right now, though Nightmare I was discussing earlier is coming true, the Xin Zhao is going to grab the 5th grub just now. 1 grub remains, and now the side of Old Dominion is going to start summoning all the grubs, 2 grubs per person, and that is going to cause so many problems. But now we do see Jax going in on the Pantheon, flashing out, and getting a pick onto the Pantheon. Chris, that's a lot of money.
Yes, Shenandoah opting just to trade the top laner, as now Xayah's in a lot of trouble. Firm Mattress does not have her ult and is forced to flash just to stay alive, as we are 11 minutes into this game and Xayah is only level 5. This is the experience deficit that we've been talking about. While gold is manageable for Shenandoah, the experience is so hard to claw back from. We have a fight down bot lane though, as lots of damage, lots of health gets traded, but no kills yet. This tower will almost surely drop. Maybe not yet, and now Ixil has an opportunity to capitalize. Akali just took 2 tower shots.
Yes, and with that, I do think that Ixil does have the potential to really even this out. But look at the gold again. While the mid lane has started to even out, the Viego lead on the side of SU is what we should be keeping our eyes on. Almost 2K of almost a full item's worth of gold is on this Viego, but on the rest of the map, the reason why SU is still behind, the top side is still bleeding, as well as the AD carry, and because of that, you really need to find a way to get them back into this game. If Viego needs to be taking care of the mid lane, that's what needs to happen, or the bot lane. The experience is an item's worth of stats, Chris. It's so much value, you can't be sleeping on it.
Yeah, and as nice as it feels to have almost 1.5 times as much gold on Viego as anybody else on your roster, you're absolutely right. The rest of the team will ultimately have to find an answer. This Viego, although very strong against a Xin Zhao and a Pantheon, will not be able to take out this Lucian by himself. And this Lucian is a very quietly growing beast. With a full Kraken Slayer, pickaxe, and 2 longswords, he could almost probably 3-shot this Xayah if he ever finds a Nami engage with him.
Yes, and now while the Akali has taken the tower bot side, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, Xayah ult will come out, and they do find a shutdown onto Lucian. Now, that will go to Viego again, and they will just take the 1. Akali in a very precarious situation here, as Viego was able to take the Lucian, but looks like they will not be able to kill Akali, and she will escape down to the bot lane, and everybody will go their separate ways.
Yes, I do want to address real fast part of the reason why that went so well for the side of SU is because Jax rotated to that fight and was able to put up a little bit more pressure. The Pantheon was freezing the wave. He's keeping that lead that we've talked about so much before and was hoping to ult into that fight if push came to shove. But the fight was so fast as another fight breaks out, this time on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, Kali able to just shroud and ult out very safely, but again, I mean, like, Shenandoah is finding a lot of picks, right? The KD is 7-10 in favor of Shenandoah, and if you told me that after last game, I simply would not have believed you. So a great adaptation from Shenandoah to say, hey, they can't kill us if they're not on the map.
Yeah.
But like we said before, there needs to be answers elsewhere, as that's the damage I'm talking about. Vermatris gets effectively one shot under her own tower and is now unable to farm safely without multiple people in her lane to protect her.
Yes, and now on the side top, we do see Pantheon jumping, but not getting enough damage, not getting into that execute range on the Jax. 15% of his health.
Pantheon's looking.
No way. Oh,
Did he cancel the
ulted
recall?
top?
He's out.
Jax
Yeah,
left.
Pantheon looked for the dive onto the tower, but Jax got out just in time as we do see a full engage from Xin and Lucian onto Rakan and Diana. Diana will go down very quickly, and that's, again, the Lucian damage we're talking about. There has to be an answer eventually, and it's going to have to be a hard CC, likely, from either Rakan or Viego. But with how mobile this Lucian is, that's going to be so hard. And with a Nami here to back him up, there's almost nothing Xayah can do.
Chris, there's a problem on the side of SU, not only with what we just saw mid lane, but oh my goodness, that's a lot of Lucian damage. The other big problem is that fight against the Pantheon topside. Viego went down. That shutdown is in Pantheon's pocket right now.
Oh, I did not even notice. That's a great point. So now as we look at gold, Pantheon now very much extending his lead over Jax. Almost 2,000 gold up for the top laner. And team-wide, what was only like a 2K gold deficit a couple minutes ago has now spread to almost 7,000 gold.
Xayah has half of Lucian's money right now, and that is the most dangerous thing you could have. As the game is paused for just a minute, we do get word that there was a very brief technical issue on one of the players. One of the games just went down, it crashed. Welcome to the new season, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good time.
Hey, that's all right. Yeah, we do have some technical issues, no problem. I believe it sounds like we're going to throw to a quick break and try to figure out what technical issues are happening. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back pretty soon. Looked for the dive onto the tower, but Jax got out just in time as we do see a full engage from Xin and Lucian onto Rakan and Diana. Diana will go down very quickly, and that...
Might get pincered here, looking on Vermatris, the Viego, and the Varus. Vermatris flashing away to try, and that's first blood over to the Viego. Rel falling shortly after.
So much health is going to go for the Q, misses the Q, just so much damage here. 3v2, no chance. And Flash coming out here from the Rel right as I was about to start. Forces the Flash there, 1 health left. Galaxy Bird going to find the kill onto the Varus, has to be careful though.
After she was on red side as well.
Yeah, meanwhile they're going to try and go in, but they're already at half.
As you see, almost a kill here. Animated has to flash out, getting a kill on Becca. She's the go.
Is she going to be perfectly against that? And now, Viego uses the Unstoppable to avoid the sleep, but it's now Lilia. It should be able to clean up on Shenandoah here. 1 more falls, double kill. Is it going to be 3? Yes, it's
A third of his life bar. They're trying to finish the dragon.
They get the objective bounty, that's big, but now they have to fight for their life.
Really nice ult combo. Rel picking up the
Rel
kill.
with the shutdown again.
Viego really low. Viego going down.
Force Yonda deleted, and now, or Yonda deleted someone, excuse me, and Now it's just clean up through time though for ODU as the rest is going to come here.
Yeah, shortly, and that's going to be...
Are they going to be able to pick up
the
one
last
more kill?
kill?
Yep, one more kill.
Zion dying at the end there, but
ODU taking it short. But it's one of the bring on Nami, I feel like there's not
You see him fight top lane as well. ODU's top lane will hit level 2 first.
Oh, careful. He's going to slide the flash. And Becca taking the gold from the Grom. Here's the fight breaking out. The Pantheon is used. Chris, take it over.
This is going to get so violent. The bot fight results in nothing, but Viego taking over Pantheon will still be fighting this Akali. This is very close, but the Q can crit it. It will. Finds an engage onto Nami and might get a kill from it, as he will. Now we have a fight up top lane as well that likely won't result in much, but a Nami bubble onto Xin Zhao and a massive engage from Diana, and Rakan will find a huge burst, but will it be enough damage? Akali is dishing for this Rakan, but we do have a... We are back. Thanks for hanging with us through some technical issues. It sounds like we should be getting back into game fairly soon here. But we had the pleasure of looking through some of those replays with you all. And, I mean, looking back at last game, we said it a couple times, this feels like a whole different game, Kevin.
Yeah, it does. As now SU is keeping up in terms of fights and kills, really making sure that this box-to-box potential is up there. But as far as some of the other stuff we have seen, it's a repeat of CS. It's a repeat of bleeding money in situations where you really can't afford it, literally, because it's so... Gold is your lifeline. We talk about it for every game. Everybody talks about the strategies, what you need, fuel, stocks. In this game, it's money, and because of that, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, and Lucian's getting so much damage off before anything has happened to him. As Akali finds an ult into the backline, and most of Shenandoah's team is already dead, we do see a 5-0 wipe for the side of Old Dominion, and that's the CS and money bleeding that we've been talking about. It does not matter if the kills are equal. If you can't make up for it elsewhere, ODU is taking perfect advantage of all of the lane state advantages we saw earlier.
Yeah, now here's the dangerous point, Chris. Look at the Grubbies marching down the field as now you are able to keep up so much pressure on these towers. Akali opting to go in, but
ODU is not done. Akali keeps finding her way into the backline, and we have a Nami bubble found onto Viego. It looks like will not result in much. Jax looking for an engage, will not find it as Shenandoah now forced to step back, but they're all at half HP. This Lucian is chunking at 9-2 with a Kraken and a complete Navori with a Nami in his pocket. He can almost two-shot anybody on Shenandoah's roster.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about textbook, I don't want to be fighting this. This is the beast that you don't want to see in your solo queue games, because it's so difficult to deal with a character who has this kind of lead and is so mobile, who's able to really dash around and command your presence to using your mobility to pressure. There's a pick onto the Viego. Pantheon jumping in with a quick Eclipse burst, and that's all you really need.
Yeah, and that's just aggressive and almost greedy movement from Becca on Viego there. Like, you just have to understand that Shenandoah has no control over the map, and walking into the jungle will always be dangerous. A good trade there from Jax, taking what he can get, dodging spears, but vision is basically not a thing for Shenandoah. There's nowhere that this Shenandoah roster can walk out of the base, and Lucian's able to find a kill on a Fur Mattress before any retaliation can come. And sure enough, the same thing happens on the bot side. Akali finds a quick pick onto Diana through the ult, and now we have turrets falling everywhere.
Yes, and I mean, this again is the name of the game. They have so much pressure in a combination of not only the Grubbies, but also with all of this value as Pantheon ults in. Chris, we got a fight.
Yeah, there was an angle there. Rakan did find an ult, but the Jack stun wasn't able to land, and not enough follow-up means Old Dominion's able to just walk away. And when the cooldowns are down, Old Dominion blew nothing to walk away. They just turn and one-shot Rakan. Oh. Now, a bubble and Delusion ult can be a very deadly combo as Akali finds a quick kill onto Jax. Viego will go down as well. The stun into bubble onto Diana, and who is left? Xayah forced to ult in her own beacon, cannot recall. and Lucian just mowing through this roster. Another Nami bubble lands. Lucian will go down to the beacon, but that will be the game as Shelly is able to dance on our screen for us, and that will do it for this first week of MAEC competition. ODU 2, Shenandoah 0.
Rift Herald hitting him with a little hand
Whoa.
raise. But
Yeah.
with all of that being said, I do think the name of the game is gold.
Yes.
I mean, as much as it was so good on the side of SU, they did a great job of staying in the game and getting the money onto a character who can take over a game.
Yeah.
Viego definitely had the opportunity to just suddenly take over, but it comes at a cost. You need to find ways to keep up your experience, to keep up your gold, and Old Dominion did a great job of really controlling the waves and making sure that if you guys have to come out of your tower, you better believe you are going to take as much damage as possible.
Right, yeah, and we've talked a little bit about it between games, right, and during that game, but the adaptations were great. I mean, like, you talk about polar different stories from game 1 to game 2 for Shenandoah specifically. I mean, like, this is a very young team, not a ton of experience, and this is the beginning of the season. So I'm so proud to see how they bounced back in game 2. Although it was not a win, there were so many great moments to look back on. I think a lot of things they can learn from as well, but hopefully we get to see more of this team develop down the line. But we are going to send to another break. We'll see you on the other side. But a orange ring on Nami, I feel like does not minions. As we do see him play top lane as well. ODU's top laner will hit level 2 first.
Oh, careful. He's going to flag the burn flash. And Becca taking the gold from the Grom. Here's the fight breaking out. The Pantheon ulti is used. Chris, take it over.
This is going to get so violent. The bot fight results in nothing, but Viego taking over Pantheon will still be fighting this Akali. This is very close, but the Q can crit it. It will. Finds an engage onto Nami and might get a kill from it, as he will. Now we fight a top lane as well. That likely won't result in much, but a Nami bubble onto Xin Zhao, and a massive engage from Diana, and Rakan will find a huge burst. But will it be enough damage? Akali is dishing out for this Rakan, but we do have a Viego on a flank. We'll find a stun onto Nami. Rakan lock up onto Nami, and they will find the kill. If they're able to kill this Lucian, this is a huge shutdown
per person, and that is going to cause so many problems. But now we do see Jax going in on the Pantheon, flashing out, and getting a pick onto the pen. Now, while the Akali has here the tower bot side, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, Xayah ult will come out, and they do find a shutdown onto Lucian. For the dive onto the tower, but Jax got out just in time, as we do see a full engage from Xin Zhao and Lucian onto Rakan and Diana. Diana will go down very quickly, and that's what you need.
Stocks in this game, it's money, and because of that, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, and Lucian's getting so much damage off before anything has happened to him, as Akali finds an ult into the backline, and most of Shenandoah's team is already dead. Well, the stun into Bubble onto Diana, and who is left? Xayah forced to ult in her own beacon, cannot recall, and Lucian just mowing through this roster. Another Nami bubble lands. Lucian will go down to the beacon, but that will be the game. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us. We are back from the Shenandoah Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia. I am joined by our very own AD carry, Firm Mattress, Bella herself.
Hello.
Bella, those were interesting games.
Yes, they were.
How did you guys feel? This is your first time on stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so how did you guys feel going into game? Were you guys excited?
Yeah, we were so excited about like the face cams especially, and then being able to like show my friends like, hey guys, I'm on stream. So it was just a lot of fun. We were so excited.
Yeah, for sure. Getting into game 1, right, that game certainly did not go how you guys planned it to. What happened? What went wrong? What went right? How did you guys feel about it?
So for bot lane, we were getting poked out pretty hard.
Yeah.
They went double Doran's Blade in the beginning, so they were dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I remember as soon as we got to lane, they came out of the bush and just like half health gone, but it was interesting to play against, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, looking forward to game 2, right? We know that felt completely different. So like, what did you guys between games, like how was team mental? How did you guys like decide what needed to change going into the next game?
Yeah, so we just took a sec to kind of just reset and calm down, and we talked about how we should be more proactive with our playing and work on aggression, like more efficient aggression and not just going in and dying, which seemed to work really well, especially for our jungler. She did great this game. Shout out Sussy Becca.
Yes, shout out Becca. Well, on that note, that will probably do it for us. Do you want to take a moment to shout out anybody who might be watching from home?
Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. Hi, Mom, if you're watching.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being on the desk and playing a great game for us. But that will do it for us. So if you want to see more esports action, be sure to drop us a follow. We will be playing all different kinds of games all week long. I believe you'll have another game a week from today, correct?
Yep.
Yes. So if you want to see more League of Legends action, tune in this time next week. But other than that, hey, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It could change their day. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Might get Pincer here, looking on firm mattress, the Viego and the Varas. Firm mattress flashing away to try, and that's first blood over to the Viego. Rel falling shortly after.
So much health. Is going to go for the Q, misses the Q, just so much damage here. 3v2, no chance to win. Flash coming out here from the Rel, right as I was about to start. Forces the flash there, 1 health left. The Galaxy Bird going to find the kill onto the Varas. Has to be careful though.
After two on red side as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, they're going to try and go in, but they're already at half health. Heal is going to come out, and it is just absolutely deleted. Cleanse comes out from Furby. It's interesting to see what he's going to be going with. And meanwhile, Galaxy Bird just...
Dead to right under the tower here. No, the Ash Arrow coming through. Viego getting low. As we see, almost a kill here. Animated has to flash out, getting a kill on Becca. We see Claude the Goat.
Is she going to be perfectly against that? And now, Viego uses the Unstoppable to avoid the sleep, but without Lilia, it should be able to just clean up on Shenandoah here. 1 more falls, double kill. Is it going to be 3? Yes, it's
a third of his life bar. They're trying to finish the dragon.
They get the objective bounty, that's big, but now they have to fight for their life.
Really nice ult combo. Rel picking up the kill.
Shutdown again.
Viego really low. Viego going down.
More Young deleted, and now, or Young deleted someone, excuse me, and now it's just clean up through time though for ODU as the rest of Shenandoah.
Yeah, just shortly, and that's going to be.
Are they going to be able to pick up the last kill? Yep, 1 more kill.
Zion dying at the end there, but ODU taking it short.
But a Woman's ring on Nami, I feel like does not hit him. We do see him fight top lane as well. ODU's top lane will hit level 2 first.
Oh, careful. He's going to flash the burn flash. And Becca taking the gold from the drum. Here's the fight breaking out. The Pantheon ultimate is used. Chris taking over.
This is going to get so violent. The box fight results in nothing, but Viego taking over Pantheon will still be fighting this Akali. This is very close. But the Q can crit it. It will. Finds an engage on the Nami and might get a kill from it. As you will, that we have to fight up top lane as well. That likely won't result in much, but a Nami bubble onto Zinzao and a massive engage from Diana, and Rakan will find a huge burst. But will it be enough damage? Akali is dishing for this Rakan, but we do have a Viego on a flank. We'll find a stun onto Nami. Rakan locked up onto Nami, and they will find the kill. If they're able to kill this Lucian, this is a huge shutdown per person,
and that is going to cause so many problems. But now we do see Jax coming in on the Pantheon, flashing out, and getting a pick onto now. Here in the tower bot side, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, Xayah ult will come out, and they do find a shutdown onto Lucian. For the dive onto the tower, but Jax got out just in time as we do see a full engage from Zinzao and Lucian onto Rakan and Diana. Diana will go down very quickly, and that's what we need.
Stocks. In this game, it's money, and because of that, a fight's breaking out, Chris.
Yes, and Lucian's getting so much damage off before anything has happened to him. As Akali finds an ult into the backline, and most of Shenandoah's team is already as well. The stun into Bubble onto Diana, and who is left? Xayah forced to ult in her own beacon, cannot recall, and Lucian just mowing through this.